In the Husqvarna Viking Design Applique, there is some neat software items that have been saved in the machine, so you get kind of the benefit of software but without having to go to the computer or buy extra software. So we're going to talk about Design Applique. So that's the little bubble down here with the scissors and the pink flower. So when it switches over and you kind of see it, you can see you're in that area now, Design Applique. There is a shape menu for you to pick from, so some applique shapes you might say. And so with that, there are shapes, there are also letters and numbers. Now, here's the benefit of this, is that you're going to see that these shapes can be made any size, including the alphabets. So let's just pick, we'll just do a letter A, for example. And you might want to pick the hoop size that you're going to be working with before you come into it, because I think that might actually matter. I think so. Yes, that if you wanted to make it even bigger than what is currently showing, you need to have that hoop selected. So right now we have the 260 by 200 hoop. So I'm seeing that this A is actually almost filling that hoop size. So if I have, keep an eye on that size that you're working with. So as you can see, we have kind of almost a boundary. We haven't done anything with it just yet, but we can size it, we can rotate it, and we can actually do it unproportional sizing too. So if you were looking for an A that was a little bit narrower and maybe taller, we could play with that as well, maybe, or the other way. All right, so what are we talking about for applique options? So down here at the bottom, you have 6 bubbles. There's 3 different stitches. The narrow one of the first one is a satin stitch, or a thick satin stitch. This one's kind of a jaggedy type satin stitch, and it sounds funny and it looks funny on screen, but actually stitches out really pretty. And I love that one. And then, or there's almost a candle wicking feature as well. So the last 2 stitches, a small candle wicking and a big candle wicking. So for example, if you're going to make this really, really small, you might not want big candle wicking stitches. You might want something a little bit more in proportion to the size that you're actually stitching. So once you actually have done this, again, you have complete control over how big you want this, so it doesn't matter. It's not the 20% up and 20% down that we often are limited to with just design sizing. You have infinite control. Maximum is your hoop size. All right, so when we touch OK, and it will bring it on over to stitch. Let's just go ahead and see what comes up when we see these steps for stitching it. So like an applique, you will find that it will first do that little tack down option, and then it will do where you put the fabric, or first the outline, then where you put the fabric in, then it stitches it down, you trim it, and then it will finish with this decorative stitch that you have selected. So I have noticed that the last thing I did was color sorting, so you probably don't want it to all stitch out at once, so we'll separate that out so you can, so it doesn't go 1 through 3 without actually stopping, since it's all one color. So just note that at any given time, and here, let's just go on back, and we'll take the hoop off as it will ask, thank you. And you will find that you can go in to the Design Applique and pick out shapes. You could even do a shape on top of a shape. So if you're looking for a circle with 2 circles, a small one and a big one, you could stack those up and then even put a fun monogram in the middle. So have fun with the Design Applique area of this machine.